Snowdrops, they might not be brightly coloured like off the exotic flowers that I talk about growing. They might not be bold and unusual like a lot of these amazing tropical style plants behind me. They might not flower for months on end like the cannas and dahlias that I enjoy growing in summer, but they definitely bring something at the right time of year. They're graceful, they're elegant, and they come just as the year is starting to begin, just as we turn from winter to finally being able to look ahead. Whether you've got a jungle style garden like mine, or something more cottage-like, or even a really modern garden, I certainly think that a few patches of snowdrops, a few clumps will really brighten up your garden and brighten up your day at a gloomy time of year. Today I want to talk quickly about a few tips for dividing them, it's really easy, and how to get more in your garden. As I'm filming this then, on a cloudy, slightly windy day in March, the birds are singing and it's finally mild enough for Max to actually come outside. It's still been a little bit clingy, a little bit needy, but still just coming outside and not running straight back in as soon as the sleet's hitting my face. It's definitely a step in the right direction. Now, snowdrops, like I said, they are quite plain, I suppose, just plain white, but they're definitely graceful. And I admire the simplicity. I suppose at this time of year, just reaching down, this is a hellebore, this is Anna's red. It's a beautiful plant I picked up just for Christmas. It's got amazing flowers and these beautiful sort of marble pattern leaves. They're variegated and they're definitely fitting with my exotic vibe. That's fantastic. And there's so many other amazing spring bulbs, even daffodils, beautiful, cheery. Fritillarias, one of my favourite spring bulbs, they come a little bit later. For exotic impacts, you can't go far wrong with those. But there's something about the simplicity of snowdrops. They're graceful, they're elegant, and they come even earlier. So to me, in the depths of winter, when the whole world is grey and brown, there's just something so special about the little white flowers just bobbing along in the wind. So today, like I mentioned, I want to talk about dividing them and propagating them. I was lucky enough to get a few pots full from my dad. The land behind him is actually getting built on, so he took the opportunity to dig up a few clumps. Obviously, he asked permission first. The land was going to be cleared anyway, so it made sense to save them, and I could then distribute some around in my garden. He's got some of his garden, everyone's happy. And obviously, I shouldn't need to say it, but make sure you've got permission if you're splitting them from someone else's garden, and definitely don't take any from a wild place. But if you've got permission to get some snowdrops, or you've got some in your own garden that you're looking to spread around even more, dividing them is honestly so easy, and it's a great way of having clumps all the way through your garden with pretty much no effort at all. So let me just talk you through how I do it. You might have heard the phrase then, buying bulbs in the green. It's often a recommended way of actually getting bulbs. Rather than planting dry ones in autumn, if you buy them just after finished flowering, you'll get something like this delivered in the post. And obviously the leaves are still green, hence the name, but the flowers have finished. So that's the first crucial thing. And the reason why I'm doing this video in early March, rather than late January, maybe early February, when the snowdrops look their absolute best. So you want to wait until they're finished flowering, they've done their thing for this year. That's the best time to dig them up. And what you want to do is go to a decent sized clump. It's not worth splitting up a small clump. It needs leaving alone for a few years to really sort of fatten out and get ready. But you want to get a decent sized clump, get your spade under there, and it really isn't complicated. Just dig up a big chunk of it, or dig the whole clump up ready to split it down. You can always put some of it back in the same spot. And you want to make sure you go deep enough to actually get some of the bulbs under it. It's better to go deeper, say a few inches, maybe 4 inches deep, to make sure you get all that bulb, and you'll get a nice clump up. And then it really is as simple as get that clump up and pull it apart with your hands, and you'll get something like this. Now, this isn't one that I prepared earlier. I'm nowhere near as organised as that. This literally just happened to be in the tub that I've got. And that's about the right size. You don't want to just have one individual snowdrop or a couple of them, because you might end up disturbing the roots more than you need to. They might end up failing, or I suppose, well, they might even make it, but still not look that impressive for a few years. So if you've got something like this, if you plant this in your garden, even next spring, this will be a beautiful little clump, and it'll certainly brighten up your day. So that's basically what I do. Clump like this, I'll probably split up into maybe 6 or 7 individual ones. I'll spread them through the garden, and personally, I like to choose the shady spots, those areas where nothing else really seems to grow, in between my more permanent structural plants. Something like a snowdrop, it's definitely a bright sight to see on a winter's day in the garden. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. And the next crucial thing is, once you've dug them up, don't stand around doing a YouTube video about how to dig them up, how to split them, because there's really nothing to it. Don't let them dry out too much. You really want to dig them up, get a hole dug, and plant them somewhere else in your garden. And what you want to do is, you want to plant them to the same level that you got them, so pretty much where the white bit starts, just above the bulb. If you put them in the soil to that level, and then give them a good soaking once you push the soil down around them, that's all you need to do. Don't let them dry out over the next few weeks, but hopefully there'll be a few showers during this spring. It won't be a completely dry one like we've had in the past, and these will settle in nicely. Just leave them to wither down. Don't chop the leaves off until they're completely brown, and at that point then, those bulbs will have plenty of energy for the roots to get down this year. Then next spring, you'll be treated to a beautiful display of these lovely white flowers. So just a really quick video today. Honestly, there's nothing to it. A how-to guide will be as simple as dig them up, rip them apart with your hands, put a good sized clump straight in the ground, water it, job done. But that will make a very good video. So hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.